Hey, what's up, Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2024 Netflix original film, May December. So this technically was a festival film, and that which came out in May of 24, I believe, and then the film came out in December of 24. So like Netflix bought it after the festival and then released it for 24. So I think it's funny and it wasn't intentional that it premiered in May and it aired in December, and the film is May December. May December is like an old phrase of like if there's a big age difference between somebody and their partner. I don't know where it comes from, but I know that that's where the title comes from. So this is Julianne Moore. She plays the character of Gracie. You have Charlie Melton in this, who plays the character of Joe. You have Natalie Portman in this, who plays the character of Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is an actress, and she's doing some research. She's trying to live the life of this Gracie person who had relations with Joe back in the day. And this is very loosely based on, there was a case in the 90s where this 30-something-year-old teacher was having relations with her 12-year-old student, got pregnant, was arrested for things, obviously, endangering the welfare of a child. And so then she gave birth to the kid in the prison. And then when she got out of prison, the two of them married, had another kid. And then eventually, as time passed, they separated. She passed away from cancer. He's still alive, something like that. So that was an actual story. That was a big thing in the 90s. You know, how could she do this? And, you know, why would he then, as an adult, willingly be with her after she took advantage of him as a kid? All these things. So this story is very loosely based on that. So Joe, Charlie's character of Joe, was 13 years old working at a pet store alongside Gracie's character, who's in her 30s. And they then got together and were caught. And then there was a trial, and she gave birth to their first daughter in prison. And then they got married when she got out, and they had twins. And the premise is now the twins are graduating high school, and there's an independent film being made on their story. So Elizabeth, Natalie Portman's character, is just staying with them for a week or so to like learn about them, learn how things happened, and like get their mannerisms, and like how Gracie puts on blush or like puts on lipstick, things, right? Just little things. But then like stuff is revealed, and how Gracie imploded her family dynamic, that her son Billy was actually the same age and the same grade and the same class as Joe. So like, how did that work? How did the divorce work? Just things. It was a very disturbing film to watch, knowing that this was very similar to an actual real life event. How does this happen? And it's the perpetrator, the 30-year-old, taking advantage of a 12-year-old, is putting on this princess syndrome where she has to be saved from the catastrophe of life and the young knight in shining armor and blah, 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 and this and that it's not pedophilia, it's princess syndrome. And it's not. You can call it whatever you want. It's not. It's disturbing. It's a very disturbing film. I thought everybody did a great job with the material they were given. I commend Charlie for putting on 40 pounds to get a dad bod for this particular film, for that particular scene with Natalie Portman, which I did not expect. Being a fan of everybody for so long, it's very interesting watching someone grow. You know, Charlie has done phenomenal things in regards to Riverdale and other projects as well. But, you know, first thing I ever saw Natalie Portman in that I remember is Star Wars back in the day. First thing I saw Julianne Moore in is Jurassic Park back in the day. So it's just very interesting watching decades worth of projects for three individuals and seeing how well they are doing at their craft. And I appreciate that. So from the technical standpoint, I appreciated that. From the story, first, second, third act that they gave us, I thought it was very appropriate how it was portrayed. It's just a disturbing plot. It's a disturbing fiction based on nonfiction, because this actually happened, and it's disturbing. How does this happen? If the tables were turned, and if this was a 30-something-year-old man having relations with a 12, 13-year-old girl, that'd be a completely different, that person would still be in jail. How does this also work in regards to the plot point for the film is that they were leading up to the graduation of the twins. How do you, a convicted sex offender, how are you allowed to go to a school graduation? aren't there laws against that? Can't you not be within a certain amount of feet from a school or something like that? How does that work? So I don't understand that part of the plot unless it's state by state. I don't know. But I just thought it was very weird how that was like a thing that they were prepping for the graduation. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, how is she going to the graduation? She's up with a 13-year-old. How does this work? How is this working? Weird. Disturbing film, but that's the point. It's a conversation film. It's a film that is supposed to be disturbing to get you to talk about this subject matter, which I don't ever want to talk about again, but here we are talking about it in this review. Never Again. Great film portrayed. Disturbing subject matter. May, December, on to the next review. Mahalo.